All right. Good evening, but afternoon for you guys, of course. The endocrine system. We're going to start with comparing and contrasting the actions of the endocrine system versus the nervous system in controlling body function, and then describing the general functions controlled by the endocrine system. So first of all, the endocrine system has ductless glands. So there's no glands here. We're not thinking like mammary or salivary glands. They're just going to be structures or cells that go ahead and synthesize and secrete hormones. So what specifically are hormones? They are just different chemicals that are secreted into the blood that are going towards specific target cells and are transported throughout the body. So they could be proteins, they could be steroids, like what we're used to hearing about, like testosterone or estrogen, right? So target cells that are in the body are going to have specific receptors for a specific hormone. So the hormone is going to bind to that receptor, and then the cell will go ahead and respond to whatever it's supposed to respond to, right? So the endocrine and the nervous systems are our two controllers of the entire body, right? So they are the control systems of the body. So the nervous and the endocrine system, they both go ahead and release what are called ligands, or they're chemical messengers, right? So we're saying hormones are chemical messengers as well. Ligands bind to cellular receptors and particular target cells. So that's going to be both the nervous system and the endocrine system. We got to remember too, the nervous system is responsible for chemical and electrical impulses that send information throughout the body, and they're super quick too, right? Me talking right now has lots of those things going ahead and moving about in my body, and causing me to go ahead and speak and move. So that's going to be the nervous system. The endocrine system, however, on the other hand, is going to be transmitting hormones throughout the blood that are going to target cells that have the correct receptors, and they can be super widespread. So they can be all over the body, and they're going to have longer reaction times. So we're not thinking super fast, they're going to stop when the stimulus goes ahead and stops, and they're only going to start when the stimulus starts. So hormones actually have longer lasting effects. So it can be from just a couple minutes, it could be for days, and it could even be for weeks. So you think of the hormones that we have in our bodies as male and females, those are going to have those long lasting effects versus just a signal that's like, oh, that's hot, I should move my hand, kind of thing. So one of the things that's interesting between the nervous and the endocrine system is how the nervous system actually goes ahead and sends that information with the ligands, those chemical messengers. So it's going to be moving down the neuron from the soma through the axon and then into the teledendria and into those target cells with your neurotransmitter, right? So endocrine system is going to have these endocrine glands or cells that are around a blood vessel, and the ligands or the hormones, the chemical messengers, are going to be secreted into that interstitial space and go across into the blood vessel, and then the blood is going to carry that to the target cells, and that's how those cells are then going to respond to the hormone. So some of the general functions of our endocrine system include regulating development, growth, and metabolism. So, right, hormones are going to regulate embryonic cell formation and differentiation and division. And they're also going to help with regulating metabolism. So remember, metabolism is broken down into two pieces, anabolism and catabolism. So either we're building up things or we're breaking them down, right? That's basically the entire chemistry of our body. Breaking stuff down and building stuff up. And hormones are going to help regulate that. They're also going to help maintain homeostasis, specifically of our blood composition and volume. So remember, blood is basically our life force, right? It allows us to transport oxygen and carbon dioxide, nutrients, and waste throughout the entire body. So hormones are going to regulate the blood solute concentration. So you're thinking like glucose or ions. So if you have hypoglycemia or hyperglycemia, there's something wrong with some of the homeostasis control from your hormones. They also help control digestive processes. You can think like insulin, and those hormones are influencing how much of a specific thing that we're secreting, right? So those secretory processes that are happening in the small intestine and the large intestine. They're also going to help with controlling our reproductive activities, which makes sense. Those are the hormones that we usually think of the most, and those are coming from our endocrine system. So that's going to be it for this first objective. I hope this helps, and feel free to use my notes.